Alright gamers, welcome. This game that we're going to be watching is actually the first game that I have played in the new season. I've already uploaded a video yesterday. That was actually of my second game. This is my first game. We're going to be playing Jinx Thresh into Draven Nico. Didn't really particularly win that trade, but oh well. The matchup could be a little bit tough, obviously, because Draven is really good in lane. So is Nico, for that matter, and Thresh is more of a choice to keep me safe rather than a choice to win lane. But we're gonna definitely outskill them really hard. So long as we even just go even in this lane, then that's a victory in my book. For runes, we're running Lethal Tempo, Presence of Mind, Legend Bloodline, Coup de Grace, and then just Sorcery with all the scaling AD choices. There's a lot of builds that you can try out this new season. Like, for example, Storm Wizard seems like it probably should be good on Jinx. Hex Optics also has potential on her. But for this game, we unfortunately just went with the standard Yuntal. Quite boring, I know, for there to be a new season, new items, and I just go with the default that we were already using last season. But if you look at the enemy comp, it's like Vladimir top, so a mage that gets a lot of HP. Hang on, there seems to be a little fight here. Obviously, Draven just a little bit overextending there, going too far forwards. So all we have to do is punish there, and it's a pretty good trade for us. Yeah, the enemy comp has Vlad, who gets a lot of HP just from building AP. Cho'Gath, who just gets a lot of HP from his ult. And then also the enemy jungler is Mundo, so their comp is just very tanky overall. I obviously just needed to go for the highest DPS build. And, I mean, for sure what we can say is that Yuntal Rush is going to still be the highest DPS build. That's why we are doing that. There will definitely be other games where I try out the new items, but in this game, this would have been silly not to run that. We're also running Cleanse here just because the only way I can get caught out in this lane really is by Nico rooting me. It also should be good in theory for, like, cleansing the slow and Draveny if he ever uses that to try and catch me. But I always forget about that. I don't think I'd use it once in that way a single time this game. But if you remember to do that, that's actually, you know, you're smarter than me. Definitely smart to do. I just never think to do it when I'm playing against Draven. Definitely, it's not necessarily better than Barrier against Draven, but like it's more like if you're already running Cleanse against Draven anyway, then that's a very good usage for it. Anyway, seems that we are gonna get a favorable base here. So, okay, so I made a mistake here. This is obviously my first game of the new season. Since then, I've learned better. But right now, that plating would have just been pretty much one shot away from giving me a free plating. So, yeah, that would have been nice. Anyway, because I'm going for Yuntal, unfortunately I can't afford BF swords, so we just go for the Cole and 2 daggers. I could have also gone longsword and 2 daggers, obviously, which would have been quite nice for Yuntal, because you don't want to delay the Yuntal base if possible. As soon as you can get it, you know, the sooner you can get it, the better, because you want to start stacking it up. But the problem with that build path, though, is if I do that, and I'm on my next base, I can't afford BF swords still. I kind of have, like, nothing I can build, because I don't want to upgrade my daggers. German tries to ult me there, I don't think anything really happens, yeah. Whereas now, if I get one base where I still can't get BF sword, I still have the option of just getting a long sword, which is good. That did no damage at all, that Nico Q, by the way. Weird. I'm a bit overextended there, I realized. I probably should already be using my traps, but it's fine, they didn't actually try and properly abuse it. We're getting a nanny gank here, so Thresh going in. Use some traps, so they're definitely just like overextending, trying to punish the Thresh here. Not smart. We just go on the Draven, he does the most DPS, we need to get him killed. Well, that was an accident that I grabbed that lantern, by the way. I'm intentionally trying to pick up the kill there. Trying to time my W and auto damage so that I will be the person to get the last hit before the turret finishes him. Thankfully it worked, I get the kill, I get the double buffs. What an amazing start. But as you can see, I still don't have my BF sword, so again, if I can just... let's see if I just realized that I can just one-shot the turret landing there. Yep, perfect. Yeah, so potentially I can get enough farm here to get my BF sword. Actually, it should be doable anyway, because whether I get this next plating or not, looks like I probably won't. That's pretty slow work, so start backing off. Yeah, I should just be able to sell a dagger here. And that's the upside. That's the reason why we don't upgrade the daggers into the scout slingshot until we have the BF sword, because we want the option. I thought Nico was going to cancel me there. It doesn't look like she did. But yeah, we want the option of selling a dagger to BF sword if we get the choice, because, you know, it's a little bit of a an inconvenience. You know, you do lose a little bit of gold when you buy a dagger and then end up selling it. But, you know, getting that BF sword and getting all that power in lane is just absolutely worth it. So a little bit of a gank here. Not much for me to do, I just place my traps. Trying to get the kill on Draven there. Doing a little bit of damage to them, but trying not to overextend either. They clearly were missing some HP. They would not have been able to win a fight there, so smart of them to back off. It's kind of a shame that Brar backed off, because I think we might have just been able to stomp a fight there. And here I got kind of baited. Like, I obviously realized that was not the real Draven. I knew that was Nico. But for some reason, it didn't occur to me that the real Nico would actually have a lot more HP than the Draven she was pretending to be had. So, yeah, I kind of, like, played that fight assuming the Nico was going to be insanely low, and she obviously just wasn't. So that's my bad. Alright, so we managed to tag Draven with a W there. Here, I want to try and punish him a little bit if I can. But I'm not doing a great job of that. In theory, I can space him a little bit. The problem with him using a Z, though, is that I don't outrange it, so I can't space that if he wants to use it. I will get hit by it, then because of the slow, he can chase me. So it makes sense why I would lose that trade. But I did do, like, one other... I got hit by one other auto that was avoidable if I just spaced better. And from here, I mean, it's still not doomed, though. I can still try and fight him, especially while Z is on cooldown. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Not doing a great job of it still. So we use the ult there. Doesn't land. There's still a chance to kill him, though. Like I said, I still outrange him. I can use my flash to dodge his Z if he tries to do that. I've also run out of mana here. That was a bit unfortunate, or not unfortunate, but a bit awkward. I had not noticed that I was out of mana. So I was supposed to be able to continue spacing him. So it wasn't brilliantly played. I'm kind of lucky that the final axe just didn't quite kill me. If I'd thought about it, maybe I would have also realized that and still played it the same anyway. But I wasn't thinking about that because I hadn't realized. Here I just realized, by the way, that plating is about to go down as free gold for me if I get it. Yeah, I hadn't realized that I had no mana. So, yeah. Bit lucky for me that it worked out as well as it did. But in theory, because Jinx has her W slow to keep Draven at bay and her E, you definitely can play those fights a lot cleaner than I did. Oh, that was actually quite lucky again. What the hell? That was super close to landing on me. Almost like... Oh, yeah, I was about to say, it's almost like he had vision on me. I'm pretty sure we found out later that he did have vision on me. It is a bit unfortunate there, also that I'm 100 gold off of Yuntal, but it's definitely not worth selling coal for that, or Doran's Blade, so we just hold on to them and suck it up. Buttercup. So we just farmed up the Yuntal and based and got it again. Now, seems to be a fight going on up there, so for now we're going to start rotating over to there, see if there's anything we can do at all. You can see Mundo on the Drake. Can we catch out the Nico? Possibly. Play some traps between her and Escape. For now, I seem to be good. We've got the Lantern to get out, that's fine. Didn't get to do much though, at least we get an assist on the Cho'Gath. Now potentially we might be able to get the window as well. And somehow that kill goes to me. Really fortunate. I mean, I think I'm the best person in this game to be receiving that kill, but the fact that my team actually gave it to me is kind of surprising. So there's a chance we can probably get Nico here if we chase her. She obviously has no flash already. Quite the poor flay. He could have played both the clone and the real one, but yeah, ends up resulting in the fact that I can't actually pick up anything there. So I wasted a little bit of my time, but well. Here I decide to ult the Draven just to clear out these casters so that he can't do much damage to the turret. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that way, as you can see. That was not a good ult. I assumed it would one-shot the casters, but it didn't. Maybe I need one more BF sword for that. Ooh. And unfortunately, I just died of that. It is going to be a 1-for-1 though. So Draven is definitely getting the better of me in some of these scenarios. I mean, even in that previous fight where I beat him, like, I had a plan which I did not play out correctly. Like, he's definitely playing them really well. The last time I was a bit lucky that I just barely beat him as I did. So here, arguably, because Annie's already bought and nobody's farming mid, I could have just gone mid. I should have just gone mid. But since I'm already here, I realized I have a chance to go mid, but also there's clearly potential for this to just result in a free kill for us, or like just pressure and dive the Draven if I just continue running straight bot now that I'm here. As you can see, that worked out pretty well. Now it's probably a bit silly that Annie's not rotating mid, because like, obviously now this turret is undefended, it's, free real estate, so we want to take this, but Jinx is obviously much better at pushing turrets than Annie is. Thankfully I get to, because I didn't quite cleanse the knock-up, obviously you can't cleanse knock-ups, but the tenacity from cleanse means that I get to just move away before Nico uses E, so it's also a pretty nice interaction, especially if the Nikos don't realize that you're not going to be stunned for as long as they expect. So yeah, maybe in the end it actually works out that Annie ended up sticking around, but it's also part of the reason why I went so aggressive there, as I knew I had teammates around. Anyway, so what I'm doing here in this game, this is something I've been doing last season as well. I just throw a cheeky ult at the Cho'Gath here, since I expected him to be low. I didn't actually see that he would be low, but especially because Brower pinged he had no flash and no ghost, we could probably tell that it was going to be really low. Unfortunately, it didn't quite land. But yeah, this is something I've been doing last season as well when I do Yuntal or Kraken Slayer on Jinx, is I just don't bother upgrading boots. I just go Yuntal straight into Phantom Dancer. Phantom Dancer gives a ton of movement speed and attack speed. And obviously Yuntal gives a lot of attack speed as well, so you can find yourself with as much movement speed as you would have from having tier 2 boots anyway, without actually building them. See if we can do enough damage to kill the Cho'Gath here. We've got movement speed from the turret still, so really easy to dodge that Cho'Gath Q, and yeah, he ends up going down. So for now, we're a little bit slower than if we'd upgraded boots, but we're gonna end up just as fast anyway. And then we can just keep on accelerating into the crit item completions while not actually being too slow. So it's just something I've been enjoying to accelerate the build while not lacking in movement speed, or attack speed for that matter. I used to do Swifties because my logic was, well, if I've got enough attack speed anyway, that means I don't need Berserkers and I can go Swifties and be really fast. But then I realized, or I can just not upgrade my boots and just be adequately fast and complete my items faster, and that's what I've been enjoying more. So here, I went for the double longsword of the Phantom Dancer, going for, you know, some kind of Lost Whisper item, third item. Because at this point, I still hadn't really checked what they'd done to Infinity Edge. I just knew that I didn't realize that they'd actually buffed the AD from Infinity Edge by 10. I just knew that they'd reduced the crit, so I assumed it was just straight nerfed. So I was like, third item, probably want Lord Dominic's, but since then I've changed my mind. Like, I've looked at what they've done to Lord Dominic's, which I didn't realize they'd made it so much more expensive either. But yeah, definitely I would advise Infinity Edge third item in most cases, unless they're really stacking a lot of armor, which they're not. They have a lot of HP for sure, but not too much armor. So Infinity Edge is fine. So I don't want to go too aggressive here, but they're going pretty hard on the stretch. And obviously I'm melting this Mundo so fast, I realize, yeah, I can kill this guy. Now, Aatrox ulting, so we'll see if we can do anything to the Sneeko. Unfortunately, my W lands on a minion there instead of her. Otherwise, I would have been able to finish her for sure. Also, didn't realize she was going to get swung back into us. I hadn't noticed the Aatrox W or whatever it was connect. So if I'd noticed that, maybe I could have killed her. Ends up being that Aatrox kills her anyway. Trying to see if I can just stand in a way where if Vlad chases, then I can just hit him through the wall. But he doesn't chase, so all good. So there's the TP there. Vlad caught him in the wrong place, wrong time. We just need to try and help the Aatrox here. Just using some traps to get vision of the Vlad. I don't want to face check. I don't want to just walk into his burst. Even if it doesn't one-shot me, which it might. You know, it still massively chunked me, so we played safe. There's not much room for him to escape anyway, so... Here, definitely didn't expect the Draven to show up, so... But unfortunate for me. I'm still taking a little bit of a risk here, but unless Draven flashes on me, I'm pretty sure I'm fine, so we just... do all the damage we can. Unfortunately, Nico escaped my ult there. So I'm gonna have to cleanse there to remove the slow. Then hopefully I can escape. There is a Thresh here, he can just lantern me out. Bit lucky for me, because otherwise that Mundo would have chased me down for sure. Yeah, a bit awkward. That Draven appearing where he did cost me a bit. It was definitely a risk, but one that was unlikely to actually bite me in the butt. The walk where I did, unfortunately, it went literally just as bad as it could have. So, oh well. Still trying to do some damage here, but probably not going to result in much. So we're probably going to look to base here. I think I canceled my base there because I was like, oh, maybe I can go for the farm, but then I immediately realized, nah, that's stupid. Like, Annie can obviously get this farm. Leave the farm for her. And I was taking a look at Hex Optics there, but obviously not going to build it this game. I think only way it really fits into the build is if you're going to do it as first item instead of Yuntal or instead of Stormraiser. Definitely can't fit it in if you go for either Yuntal or Stormraiser though. Alright, so at this point, the vast majority of my team is top, and most of the enemy team are dead, so we could join the team on top lane and just push that turret, but there's free farm here, so I can just push this wave. And once I push this wave, if any enemies are defending mid, then I can just rotate top, and if they're not, then I just get a free turret, so... Vlad does join, but yeah, like I said, I mean, I also... like I said, this was my first game on the new patch, so I kind of like forgot that turrets just get chunked like that if you haven't hit them in a while. So yeah, once I realized how much damage I did, I realized, oh, I can just hit it again, it'll die. Then I've got so much movement speed that Vlad can't catch me, so I'm perfectly fine to take that turret, I don't have to be afraid. And I think I probably was already contemplating basing there because I could get a crit cloak. Or maybe I wasn't thinking about that, but I probably could have based there because most of my team just isn't on the map right now anyway. Although it looks like because I didn't base, we do get this opportunity to kill Cho'Gath, so that turns out to be worth. Definitely didn't notice there was a Nico there. Both in the moment and even watching it in hindsight, I forgot there was a Nico there. That explains why Cho'Gath walked up as far as he did, but yeah. They probably also didn't expect Danny to be on the brush, I assume. Maybe I could have ulted Draven there. I don't think I expected him to get that low, though. Either way, for now, the focus is just on cutting these two. Otherwise, they could fuck my shit up. Because I'm so fast right now, it's so easy for me to space the Vlad incredibly hard, so I'm just trying to squeeze in as much damage onto him there as I can. And now, what do we want to do? Baron, maybe? I think my Professor jungle timer there is giving me the wrong timer for Baron. Yeah, no, probably don't want to do Baron, so we're just gonna base. Heading towards an Infinity Edge now, so I think we end up cancelling the base here, try and go for the Draven / Nico. Which does look like it is probably going to be sick. I actually almost ended up dying to the Draven there. But we don't. And I was definitely overextended there. It's lucky for me there was no enemies in position to flank me. I also only realized as I was walking through this area that I was walking through a ward. So I was like, yeah, so long as they don't see me. Like, I know Draven is technically in position that he could run at me and kill me. But he won't know that I'm there, right? Except he did, so... a bit lucky for me that he just barely couldn't reach me. Lucky that he didn't have flash as well. Anyway, definitely I just needed to look for a base, so... Thankfully I've delayed my base so long, at this point I can do BF Sword and Crit Cloak, which is a much nicer base than just a Crit Cloak, or just a BF Sword. So here we know the enemies are on Drake. We had enough vision to see that that was their priority, so we just rushed straight to the Baron. I assume the enemies didn't have vision of the Baron. Because obviously this is something they could try and contest, even as behind as they are, but... yeah, they just didn't expect us to predict that they would go to the Drake, which is overall an insignificant Drake. It's not like anywhere near soul for either team, so... something we're gladly willing to give up in exchange for the free Baron. My team are kind of in a weird position there, so... like, I can't really safely join without being sandwiched between... Draven is just running at me here, so I decided to go for the 1v1 because I can space him a little bit. I don't know if I'm just not critting him or what, but I would have expected to deal more damage. But anyway, hopefully... my team catches him there. Or they don't. Oh well, I made a mistake. Whoopsie. But the fight ain't over yet, it seems. And Draven does eventually finally end up dying, although he picks up another kill in the process. Yeah, I think part of that problem might have been the fact that I went for Lord Dominic's instead of Infinity Edge. It might not be that I wasn't critting when I was expecting to, and it might just be that my crits weren't doing as much damage as I expected to. Especially because it seems with Lord Doms now, what did it lose? Like 5% armor pen? And got more expensive. And in exchange, all it gained was the Giant Slayer passive, which wouldn't do anything against Draven. So yeah, it might just be I was doing a lot less damage than I anticipated. Meanwhile here, same deal with the Vlad. We can just keep trying to space him. I don't know why I bothered with those traps, but every time we slow him, that just means he's so slow he can't really get in our range. So the spacing becomes easy mode, and that's what we we're aiming to try and achieve with the Draven before as well. Like, if we can land a W on him, it does become incredibly easy to space him and land more autos on him than he's landing on us. Which obviously, like, if he's just dealing significantly more damage, because apparently my build is suboptimal against him, then I still don't win anyway, it turns out. There, obviously, I saw the enemies had used a blue... not a blue trinket, but a vision plant. So, I was hoping they... the vision plant didn't seem to see me, and I was hoping the minions hadn't seen me either, so I decided to just try recalling there. Bit sad, because there was a wave right there that I could have farmed, but it just wasn't worth the risk. If the enemies actually popped out of the brush, or out of the river, and started coming after me, and I knew that I was 100% dead, I would just kill the wave before I die, and then do as much damage to the champions as I could. But because there was a chance I could live, we just recall, and fortunately it works out. Now here, maybe we can gank the Draven. Looks like he's just dead though, so... name of the game here will just be to return to mid lane. Maybe catch out the Nico if she overextends. Okay, so here I would have loved to recall because I could already base for Infinity Edge, but we have a numbers advantage. Well, no, we don't really because Sorbra is in base, but either way, my team is just forcing here, so we just follow up. There's a bit of a Cho'Gath flank there, so this could be trouble for me, but I do have all summoners up, so I'm Not super easy to catch out, especially with the Vlad. I don't know if he just didn't put much effort into going on me, or if he just got one-shot by my team too fast, but he certainly didn't accomplish much. So it looks like we're probably just going to be able to end here. I don't know if I just stopped paying attention there, but funny thing is, even if I didn't flash that Nico E, the same thing happened as before, like, the Nico just didn't time her E properly because she wasn't expecting the stun to end so fast. So yeah, pretty nice to run cleanse against Nico. That was my only logic, is like, this is the sort of matchup where I only die if I get caught out. Could have played it better for sure. I did have many unnecessary deaths to the Draven, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.